Hello guys, welcome to my YouTube channel. Like, follow and subscribe. Visit my website for more information. Alright, today I'll be teaching you guys how to create a login page using HTML and CSS with PHP. That PHP is just to add the logic or the backend to it. This is a fully functional login page for your website. Alright, let's get started. The first things first we have to do here is download something called USBWebserver or XAMPP or WampServer. What does this actually do? This is like a local host run on your system whereby you can use it to like actually portray that you're running a fully website, but it's locally on your system. It's not something that is public, but it actually helps you to run PHP. You can actually run PHP without using web, but it's complicated and you have to download them separately. So let's just download it first. So the first place you have to go is this website, this USB web server. I prefer this USB web server because it's easy to set up and it's not like complicated, and you can see the fact there and frequent answered question. So let's download. This is the older version, and I think this are the newer version. Let's download the newer version. You guys, you have to make sure that your web or your system does not detect it as can't be downloaded secure, because it's a zip file, so they're trying to protect you from viruses and stuff, but it's virus free. Yeah, just wait for it to download. Open the file. It says zip file, everybody, so we have to extract it first. As you can see, it's downloading all this stuff, so we have to extract. Sorry, we have to extract it. Let's follow the rules stated on the website. So when you download it, okay, alright, you just we have to extract this shit. How do we extract this? Sorry, I think we have to go down to the face. Okay, this. What would you go? Here's the website. Extract all. Put it on here. Extract. Sorry. We'll wait for it to extract. Get back to you guys. Welcome, guys. So we've successfully extracted the USB server. As you can see, it's already made, so we just will have to launch it. USB web server. Here we go. So as you can see, it's already there. To access, let's just go to the localhost. This is the localhost. That's to access the website, the localhost on our system. Okay, I think we should access localhost. Alright, we have successfully extracted the USB web server. So let me explain what this web server means. And this is a web server for your own personal use. Private, is not public. It is a website, but it's localhost. It works as a website. So yeah, we have the root directory, the localhost, the PHP admin. What does it root directory does? This is where you store the file that you are using, like the files that is used to create the website. Index.html, my website.html, anything you want to do, that's where you store it. Localhost is like turning it on, is going to the website. Once you just click it to go to the the localhost website for you. That's the reason why it's there. The Apache is to turn on and turn off the web server. this, what does it do is just telling you that, hey, this website server is offline and this website online. It just works as a real web or a real server. So yeah, and then the PHP admin is for SQL database. So that's what it does. We already have our login page when we go to our localhost web server. So let's start. I've already created the login page, so I'm going to show you what it does and what it does not do. In order to create a form, a login page, you have to start with a form. That is what we do here. This form tag, you write a form for it to have input, the user input. Then we have method. This is an attribute. What does this mean? There is two type of method, get and post. This tells the browser that, oh, this is a push request and this is a get request. A get request is public, a push request is private. It's better when you're creating a sign up page, an authentication page, you are trying to send a request to the server. It's better to use a push request than a get request. That way nobody can just manipulate or see the information that is being sent. Example being, as we have a get request, we send a get request here. You can see here that the information that is being typed, the lead if tag and the password is showing, the email is showing and everything. So that's the reason why it's not good to use a get request. Not also the reason many people use get request for search results, but like, it's better to use a push request. It's more safer. Then what does this input mean? Input. What does this input mean? Input is like this. Let me just write input for you guys so you see. It's just an ordinary box that tells the website, this is a box that user have to type in their text. They have to input the text on it. So yeah, so you can write anything here and you can send it, but it's not actually going to send anything because, you know, there's no type that is being specified. So if I say, okay, let me specify type, and then I put type, we have different types: button, checkbox, and color. If you want to learn more, go to W3 School or send me a message on my website. I would talk to you guys. I would, you know, reply your email and teach you more or go in depth. You can ask your questions, please. And I'm also teaching you guys so that you guys can work on your own, do the project on your own, and please, you know, I would love to see what you've done. So this type, we have text. We have text. And what does it specify? It tells the website that this is a text. You can actually, you know, type anything you want, send it to the data and stuff. And then we have email. Because we're using email as our login, so that's the one we're using. So if you type in any email and you try to, you know, log in, it's going to tell you, what are you logging in for? This is an email, not just a text. So you have to put the and then put the stuff, and then you put the .com, and then you try to log in and it will actually go. That is what it is. It's telling the browser that this is an email, not a text. So that's the difference there. And then we have the name tag. So we can just put Y. This is, you know, telling the browser the information that is actually being sent. So if we just put and we then log in, that is where we get the information here. The Y is the name tag. It's like Y, then the value is what we type. So that this is used when you want to retrieve the data from PHP. So it's important to use that. So with this, you have already understand how to input or how to create a form in HTML. So let's go to the PHP. This action, yeah, sorry, I didn't talk about the action. This action is actually telling you guys, the browser, that when the user click the submit button or the login button, please redirect the user and redirect the value. Just take the value and send it directly to login.php. That is what is actually telling the user here. We already have something here. So if we want to create a PHP file, you have to start with PHP and then the closing tag. That's the first thing you start when creating a PHP file. Alright, let's start. We want to get the value of the information that's being sent. So because we're using a get tag, you have to start with $, and get this, and then type the name that is there. So the name that we actually use is email. So let's use email, and then close it, and then echo. You all know what echo means. It's like displaying the value. So if we go to login, it's actually echoing the information that's being sent. email.com. That is actually what is being written. That is what you wrote. So this is how we get the value. If we use post, and let's change this to post. Actually, this can work in capital letter or in small letter, so anyone you want to put, you can do it. So if we use post, it still works. It's the same thing. The only difference there is that there's no value here, so it's private and it's better to use. That's the reason why we are using the get tag. We are going to change this back to get, because for now we are using the get tag. I just want you all to see it better and understand it. So yeah, that is what we're actually working on. Now let's add a variable. In order to add a variable, $, that is how you add a variable, and then you specify it. What does the variable does? It's for you to call the website. It's easy because you don't want to be writing $, and then putting that box under it, and then writing the get and writing all this stuff. So it's better you just want to call it, and yeah, you just go echo email. It's still going to display the same thing. It's better like that, because like that's a variable writing the same thing. So submit the form line 2. Sorry, it's not displaying. Oh yeah, it thinks it's a post request. Sorry, yeah, it's displaying now. That is what it does, and that is how the variable is. So let's add the variable for the password. Remember to put your name whenever you are trying to get your value from the user password. So as you can see, now let's add a logic. We can connect to a database and then retrieve our information from the database, or add the information. But for now, we are adding our information directly into an array. So let's add a variable, and then go and then add array. The reason why we are doing this is because we don't want to start connecting to a database. That's another topic for another day. So I'm just going to add the array directly. So let's add email, and then we add that is it, and we add something like, let's add a password. So yeah, now this is an array, and we want to verify if what the user, if the password, the email and the password the user type is true, is matching with this email.com or that. So we want to write a logic. In order to write a logic, you have to start with if, right, and then box, and then we run array email equal to email. So let's echo success. Refresh it, it's still gonna submit the data. As you can see, if you refresh it, it's saying successfully login because it's actually the email. If we go back and we try using something else and then we just log in. Okay, let's add else. Let's add an else to make sure that the value echo let's just use no user found, and let's repeat it. Still showing successfully login because the value is not happening. It's showing successfully login. All right, let's make this logic better. No user found. The reason why is no user found is because when you use only one equal sign to validate it, it's gonna run a variable and say that it's gonna run a check and be like, oh, there is LU inside this email, there's LU inside this email, that means it's the same thing. But if you run two variable and two equal sign, it's gonna show user sign. It's gonna be like, okay, it must actually be the same div tech inside it. It must be complete. The reason why I use 3 is because it's strictly adhere, because it's not going to be like or that. It's going to be like it must be this div tech email.com. That is what we are verifying. That is why it's important to use this 3 equal sign. If we go back here and then we return it back to email.com, and it's going to show successfully login. That is how to create a login page and add a logic to it. That is why we are using an array, but it's not actually wise to use an array. It's only if you don't have a database, that's where you start using an array to start storing people's data and all that. So yeah, that is how it works. Let's add our password. Obviously, we want to create another logic here. Rather than echo, we'll echo it successfully login. Let's call this. Let's run a logic inside here. Better array for the password, because we want to add a good logic to make it simple and tough. Password, and then we run stuff like this. Sorry. Run it and then keep it successfully login, and then we run an else statement, and then rather than echo, we'll be like password incorrect. Yep. Let's go back here and then let's just put another password incorrect. So yeah, we're validating it. If it's successfully logging, it logs in. If it's not correct, it actually be like, this is not correct, dude. Waiting this up. Why is it not correct? Stuff like that. So in order to correct it, you put a real password. Oh my goodness, what did I update now? Sorry, the div. Successfully logged in. So yeah, that is how to actually add a logic to a website and validate it. This is it.